It is actually so fantastic, actually, to be standing here, looking at you all. And I've got to tell you, speaking metaphorically and literally, and I have to say, I don't often say that about Westminster anymore. The atmosphere in Parliament has been truly toxic these past few months. But listening tonight to my Love Socialism, Rebuild Britain, Transform Europe colleagues, it's really, really inspiring. You know, as a party, our position in Brexit has we asked them to hold if they supported us as they were going back. So, you know, as a party, I think, you know, we've heard from Emily and Kieran how we've moved as a party. Our position has moved in the interests of the country. Now we have to move the country. You know, and that is a challenge, but it's also inspiration. So I'm the MP for Newcastle upon Tyne Central, and for those of you who don't know, that is proper Northern. Now, the North is often represented as being the heart of Brexit, although I like to point out that it was a Surrey stockbroker and a former mayor of London who led the campaign. Newcastle voted 50.7% to remain, 49.3% to leave, so straight down the line. And every weekend I am out door knocking and I hear from all versions of the Brexit debate. I hear including Leave voters who now want to remain, and let me tell you, Remain voters who now want to leave. And as Shadow Minister for Industrial Strategy, Science and Innovation, I also spend a lot of time talking to businesses and workers and manufacturers. And I want to remind you all here again that the North East is the only region in the country that exports more than it imports. Despite Thatcher, despite the industrialisation, we still make things. We still make value-added goods, whether it's high-speed trains or Nissan cars for the world, and particularly for Europe. And Saturday was the Durham Miners Gala. Who's been there? It's the Durham Miners Gala. It's a fantastic celebration of northern working class culture, and building and making things is built into that. And so as a Geordie, as a Northern MP, as a Shadow Minister, as a socialist, I've come to two conclusions. First, Brexit under any terms would be a serious mistake for Britain and for the North in particular, and a no-deal Brexit would be catastrophic. But second, we can't accept the European Union as we find it today, dominated by the failed doctrine of austerity, with leaders who are seemingly increasingly willing to accommodate the authoritarian, racist and anti-Semitic parties of governments of the far right. That's one of the reasons why, when last year Jeremy asked me to represent Labour on the Party of European Socialists, it's called PES, it's all the socialist parties, social and social democratic parties in the European Parliament. That was why I jumped at the chance to help build Labour's alliances across Europe. And I want to say, it's something I've often discussed with Jeremy. Just last week we were talking about it. Jeremy is a real internationalist socialist. He's a true internationalist. And it's one of the reasons why Labour is so appreciated in PES, in the Party of European Socialists. That and the fact that we are the largest socialist party, or the largest party in Europe. And so Jeremy absolutely recognises the need for change in Europe. And I've been talking to socialist governments such as we have in Portugal, in Denmark, in Sweden, in Spain, who are looking to drive change, turning away from austerity. And we've also got the socialist parties in Germany and Austria who are absolutely on the front line of the battle against the racist right. So the PES manifesto was heavily influenced by Labour. In the European election just gone, that manifesto was really influenced by Labour, down to the strapline for the many, not the few. And it also included policies like a pan-European minimum wage and enforcing tax justice. So the message I really want to say is we have to fight against a Tory Brexit, and I'm so pleased that we have decided to fight against any Brexit. But we also have to fight for something. We have to be fighting for something, and that has to be to build a better Britain and a Europe for the many, not the few. That means working with our sister parties on an agenda that strengthens Britain's role in Europe as a manufacturing economy and a Shadow Minister for Industrial Strategy. That's what I'm working on. And also ensures that the wealth which is created by Europe's increasingly productive workforce is shared by the people who create the wealth. And it means recognising the value that migrants bring to Europe and to the UK, and it means recognising that the political choices that drive austerity, that drive tax havens, that drive technological change, that drive poverty and that drive profits. So every day, people in the north, and we must have the northern voice as part of this campaign. Every day, people in the north are making and in the Midlands and across the country are making things that Europe buys. But that's not enough for a European Union. A true union must be one of values and voice, democratic values, socialist values of solidarity and inclusion. And that is what we mean when we say, love socialism, rebuild Britain, transform Europe.
Thank you.